Hallöchen, ihr Lieben, und willkommen zurück zu Genshin Impact und damit zum zweiten Teil unserer Reise. Wie reparieren oder beziehungsweise wie bauen wir das Jadegemach auf? Also ich bin genau hier an dieser Stelle stehen geblieben. Ich habe mich keinen Millimeter bewegt. Ja gut, vielleicht doch 1 Millimeter, aber mehr auch nicht. Und ja, wir starten direkt weiter in die Runde. Und dann klettern wir einfach mal hier so ganz krass hoch. Hoch. Habt ihr das gehört?
One trusts you have met Shen-He.
Ja?
So, are you getting along quite well?
Ja, wir sind voll die besten Freunde.
So far, so good. Yeah. So, you know Shen-He too, Cloud Retainer?
Naturally.
Es fängt an zu regnen.
Save for Ganyu, who spends the majority of her time in Liyue Harbor. All the Adepti living today are acquainted with Shen-He to some degree.
Cool. So, what's her Adeptus name anyway? Calling her Shen-He feels kind of friendly, but also kind of disrespectful. So Paimon's thinking maybe it'd be better if we called her by her Adeptus name instead.
Her Adeptus name? Why, pray tell, would Shen-He have an
Dum,
Adeptus
dum,
name?
dum.
Don't all Adepti have a special title they go by?
On this latter point, you are correct. However, Shen-He is human.
Und sie ist so stark, ehrlich.
Oh, right.
Es ist also die Wahrheit. Ach so.
What? You knew already?
Ja, natürlich. Ja, ich weiß alles. Ich bin Mr. Allwissend.
Do you mean to say that she presents differently from ordinary human beings?
Naja, sie hat halt dieses fette Ding getragen, ne? So einfach mal nebenbei.
With her problem-solving methods are extremely direct.
Ah, yes. She was like this all those years ago when one first met her. In this respect, she has not changed. One first found Shen-He by chance in a cave. One was passing by and sensed the presence of a god's remains. Being of an ever-vigilant disposition, one entered immediately to inspect the scene. Inside was Shen-He, then aged around 6 years old. In her hand, she held a dagger with which she was confronting a monster that was the god's remains incarnate.
That sounds so dangerous.
When one arrived, she had already been locked in confrontation with this monster for several days. Most mortal children
Mehrere
are
Tage,
fragile,
Leute.
both
Zieht
physically
euch
and
das rein.
mentally, and are highly reliant on their parents for survival. But not so her. That she was able to endure such terrible danger was due not only to her strong willpower, but also to the bloodlust and homicidal instinct with which she was born. One dealt with the monster, yet she still refused to lower her guard. She even pointed her dagger in one's direction and remained ready to strike. Only after she was satisfied that one had no intention to cause her harm did she finally relent. She then passed out without uttering a single word.
In other words, if you hadn't passed by that day, Shen-He might have...
Not necessarily. Upon one's arrival, one could sense that the god's wrath was gradually receding. Even had the
Das
stalemate
ist so
continued,
krass. Sie war
one suspects
6.
that Shen-He
6.
still emerged the
Ich sag's
victor
gern
of the
nochmal.
confrontation.
That's still so dangerous, though. Why was a tiny little kid battling against the wrath of a god in the first place?
Alas, the mortal world is rife with suffering of every kind. And she had experienced her fair share of this, even at a tender age. Seeing that she was homeless,
sorry.
and decided to adopt her.
Die Meisterin, von der Shen-He immer sprach, ist also, ciao.
Indeed. It is one to whom she refers. Xianhe has an extraordinary constitution, making her well adapted to practicing the Adepti arts. All the Adepti cherished her talents, and so we were willing to train her. However, her homicidal urges did not subside with age. Rather, they grew stronger day by day. Mooncarver once performed a divination for her. He declared that her fate is to bear the curse of calamity. Consumed by malevolent energy, she is prone to bring harm to those around her. Such is the magnitude of the danger this poses, that her soul must be bound with red ropes to keep her homicidal instinct at bay. The red ropes have indeed served to keep her calmer and more content. They also seem to have rendered her somewhat inexpressive. Perhaps the red ropes are so powerful that they have suppressed some of her other emotions as well.
Horcht sie? Ja.
It is only by fate that people's paths may cross. Now that Xianhe's path has crossed with yours, please be sure to treasure the gift that fate has given you.
Alles klar.
And take good care of her.
Papa Anjo macht das schon, ne?
Oh, now Paimon gets it. You came out here to check up on Shenhe because you were worried about her, didn't you?
Huh. You dare draw such a facile conclusion on the nature of one's present excursion? Incorrect. The truth is that while Liyue Harbor may seem peaceful today, danger is always lurking in the shadows. Ningguang once made a bold assertion that this is to be the era of the contract between Liyue and the humans. Well, one is most curious to observe how she will respond to the coming storm. If she handles it admirably, one is willing to be a witness to her achievements. But if she does not, the Adepti shall not hesitate to seize control. Let us conclude our conversation here for today. One has occupied enough of your time, and night is approaching. Be sure to get ample rest.
Okay, ich geh ins Bett. Nacht.
So, Shenhe isn't an Adeptus after all. She just grew up around the Adepti. Oh, no wonder she doesn't like being treated as an Adeptus. Having everyone falling over themselves to show their respect all the time must be kind of hard to deal with.
Okay, hast du es, Paimon? Können wir loslegen? Ui. Was war 8, glaube ich, ne? Tick, tack, tick, tack, tick, tack. Aber es ist schon krass, dass sie so eine heftige Macht in sich hat, dass man die echt versiegeln muss, ne?
Hey, so, Shenhe.
Hallo, wir haben dir keine Hähnchenkeulen mitgebracht.
I take it.
Oh? How did you know?
Ja, woher war ich denn dort hier?
I'd intended to wait until you came back before going to sleep, but I didn't hear you come in.
Ups.
I was worried that something may have happened to you, so I went outside to check and caught sight of my master. On top of this, you have been acting very strangely around me this morning, causing me to suspect that my master must have told
Hey,
you
wir haben nur
everything
Guten
about
Morgen
me.
gesagt.
After
Hallo?
all, Master is
Was ist denn daran jetzt seltsam?
very talkative.
Sorry, Shenhe. Paimon had you down as an Adeptus this whole time, but it turns out Paimon was wrong.
It's okay. I don't mind. The fault is mine for not explaining everything to you sooner, because in my experience, trying to explain is a futile pursuit. Still, though you mistook me for an Adeptus, you never treated me as distant and unapproachable. Instead, you treated me as you would a friend. For this, I am very grateful indeed.
To be fair,
Gern
we've met our fair
geschehen.
share of real Adepti, too. Anyway, now it's settled. From now on, you're our friend. Whether you're an Adeptus or a human is everything. First and foremost, we're just plain old friends.
Got it. Although I don't know quite what it entails in terms of what I have to do, I must say I like the title friend very much indeed.
Great! Well, now that we're all rested up, we should start searching for the other 2 items on the list.
Let's go.
But before we do that, let's go to the building site and ask Ningguang's little helper how the progress is going. After all, Sunset Vermilionite is so rare. Paimon doubts many competitors will really be able to find any. If it turns out some of them have given up already, we'll be able to take things a little more slowly.
Na.
Oh, and another thing. We bought some grilled chicken drumsticks on the way back
Oh, wow.
last night. There was a place just outside.
Das
Here's
Teil
one
ist
for
schon
you,
fertig.
Shanna.
Über
Try
Nacht.
it. They're so good.
I concur. It has a rich flavor, far more
Ich-
agreeable than those I've cooked for myself in the wilderness in the past.
Look, look! The Jade Chamber is floating into the sky! But it seems to be tied down by something.
That's because it's not finished.
Hey, Bywin! And hey, Beto! And hey,
Hallo,
person Bywin
Schnuckiwucki.
doesn't know?
Given the enormous scale of the Jade Chamber, we split the construction work into 2 phases to make sure the structure remains balanced. Before we find some suitable plastrite, we build the Jade Chamber's keel at ground level. Once the plastrite is ready, we place it into
Das ist
the
doch noch
keel
nicht
and
ganz
let the
fertig.
partially constructed Jade Chamber rise up to the height of the surrounding mountain peaks. The remainder of the construction work is then carried out at that altitude. Once everything is ready, we release the iron tethers and allow the Jade Chamber to rise to its target altitude.
Miss Bywin, we've brought some new materials to submit.
Wow, was ist denn das für eine
One
geile
moment, I'll
Stimme.
be right there. The
Hello?
construction work has only been able
Kannst
to
du noch mal
progress
reden?
this rapidly thanks to the plastrite provided by you. Lady Ningguang is most grateful and looks forward to seeing more of your work.
Wow, can't believe you sourced the plastrite so quickly. It's the key piece of the puzzle. Looks like you beat us to the punch.
Beto, you're joining the Jade Chamber contest too?
Sure am. I happened to get my hands on a chunk of Sunset Vermilionite on voyage a while
Okay, also
back,
müssen
so
wir das
I
Ding
figured
schon mal
I'd bring
nicht
it over.
suchen. Ich bin tatsächlich gerade am Überlegen, ob die Quest echt irgendwie mehrere Stunden ging. Ich weiß es nicht mehr.
Oh, I've got some introductions to do. This is the renowned Miss Yoon, or Yoonjin, probably the most famous figure in the Liyue opera scene.
Hi.
Greetings.
These 2 are Paimon and the Traveler, both good buddies of mine. And this is, sorry, not sure we've met.
Shenhe. I am their friend.
Oh, wie süß.
Good to meet you. A friend of a friend is my friend too. Or, as I like to say, a mate of a crewmate
Bedu
is
ist
part
auch
of the crew.
so eine tolle
Miss Yoon is
Frau.
also here for the
Die hat
contest.
einen echt tollen
Turns out she
Charakter.
needed to borrow a boat, so we came together.
It's an honor to finally meet you both. I've heard much about you. Miss Shenhe, though we are only meeting for the first time, I have a feeling that we will get along very well indeed. To be honest with you all, I am in great need of this opportunity to ask Lady Ningguang a question. That's why I joined the contest. Thanks to my father's connections, I was able to acquire a specimen of the plastrite required. Fortunately, it was approved for submission, despite being a little on the diminutive side.
Wow. So it looks like the 3 of us are competitors now.
Excuse me for prying, Miss Shenhe, but are you competing as well?
Nö, sie hilft uns.
No, I don't have any questions for Ningguang. I just wanted to help him win.
In that case, I have a proposal to make. Lady Ningguang said that the first 3 contestants to procure all 3 materials will be awarded the chance to ask a question. Well, there are 3 teams here. We can split the prize between us. Instead of competing against each other, we could work together to secure the top 3
Ja, also
places
ich habe
between
ja schon
us.
hier was Großes
What do you
geleistet, ne? Im wahrsten Sinne des
Sounds
Wortes.
great, but how does it change things exactly?
I think I see where you're going with this, Miss Yoon. The plastrite was the most difficult item to source by a long shot. Luckily, all three of us managed to get our hands on it. The two remaining items aren't quite so rare, so as long as one of us finds a way to source it, the other two can hop on the bandwagon. How'd I do? Is that what you had in mind?
Precisely.
Huh. Interesting approach.
Okay then.
Du willst ja
All right,
alles
I'll go first.
niedermetzeln.
I have some leads on these wonder cores. From what I've heard, the core itself is really not that difficult to make. The hard part is getting hold of the ore used as raw materials. I'm gonna head back to the ship and ask Suling if he's heard of them. You guys...
We will head into town and seek advice from Master Zhang of Hanfeng's Ironmongers. Thoughts?
Lass uns gemeinsam hingehen. Auf die Schmiedekünste von Herrn Sang kann man sich verlassen. Lass uns
Wonderful.
gemeinsam gehen.
We'll split into teams then, and whoever makes progress first brings all of us a step closer to victory. I'm
Let's
gonna
go.
take off. See you later.
Okay, let's go.
Yes. Wir werden immer mehr.
By the way, what question are you gonna ask Ningguang Yunjin?
I'm looking for a venue to host the performance of our new opera. Lady Ningguang has excellent judgment, so I would like to hear her opinion.
Ooh, what's the opera called? Paimon wants to go see it.
The opera is a labor of love by my father. He wrote it based on a popular urban legend about an evil spirit and an adeptus. It's called The Divine Damsel of Devastation.
Habe ich da gerade Jungfrau gehört? So haben die beiden eben geguckt. Ja, genau so. Und nicht anders. Wer etwas anderes rein interpretiert, liegt falsch. Mhm. So, dann gucken wir mal. Also, Leute, ich weiß gerade echt nicht, ob die Quest echt mehrere Stunden ging. Ich habe keine Ahnung. Wenn nicht, dann wären daraus wahrscheinlich 3 Teile. Gucken wir
Are you here
mal.
for something off the shelf? Or do you need something forged?
Excuse me, Master Zhang. We
Excuse
were
me,
wondering if you'd heard
please.
of something called a Wonder Core.
Of course I have. Sorry, who's asking?
Deine
My
Mama.
name is Yunjin. Perhaps you don't know me, but I believe that you forged some weaponry for my father in the past for stage use.
Yunjin? Stage use? Oh, so you must be Miss Yoon.
Wartet, hat sie sich nicht gerade vorgestellt gehabt?
Sorry, my brain's finally caught up.
Okay.
It's not used to doing much beyond bashing a hammer all day. Everyone's heard of you, Miss Yoon. Even folks who don't make it to the opera all that often. Like myself. So, you're here to ask about wonder cores, huh? As it happens, I do know how to make them. Matter of fact, I made some for Lady Ningguang back when she was building the original Jade Chamber. The types of ore needed to make wonder cores are a little hard to come by. Lady Ningguang supplied them herself last time. I don't suppose you've brought any yourselves?
No, we were gonna ask you what kinds of ore we need.
Sure. Well, you'll need 2 kinds. Star Splinter Iron and Subrosium. If I remember correctly, Lady Ningguang sourced her Star Splinter Iron from the Mount Tianheng area. They say it resonates with visions.
Das Chichi. Was macht
It
sie denn
could take
da?
some work, but if you stick with it, you'll find some eventually. As for the Subrosium, though, that's trickier. It's all but unheard of on the market.
Wie sollen wir es denn dann finden?
I'm really not sure. Sorry. What I've heard is that the people around Mount Tianheng have some sort of magic trick that can pinpoint the location of the stuff. Of course, it's probably just hearsay. If you want my advice, start by looking for Star Splinter Iron around Mount Tianheng. And if you run into any locals, ask them a few questions about Subrosium.
Mount Tianheng.
Interestingly enough, the story of the Divine Damsel of Devastation also takes place on that mountain. I hear the view there is quite spectacular. A favorite destination of the Adepti, in fact. Perhaps it can give me some inspiration. Let's not delay. We should head straight there.
Let's go. Da, 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 da. Hä? Nee, die ist ja immer noch. Aber ich habe Angst, dass ich eventuell aus Versehen was Neues trigger. Deswegen spreche ich sie lieber mal nicht an. Denn ihr wisst ja, irgendwie läuft hier gerade alles parallel. So.
I came to Mount Tianeng once with my father as a child. I remember it being such a long climb that I could barely feel my legs by the time we reached the top. This is quite a trip down memory lane for me. Look at these majestic, towering peaks, and the gently flowing streams. It's like setting foot in paradise. No wonder the legend of the divine damsel of devastation is said to have taken place here. Adepti wander oft where mortals seldom stride. Indeed, this looks like a place that one might expect to be frequented by Adepti.
The Divine Damsel of Devastation is your upcoming opera, right? And the story takes place in Mount Tianheng. Huh. Seems like you have a real connection with this place. What's the story about, though?
It's the story of a girl becoming a hero.
Ooh.
Cool. A hero story? They're Paimon's favorite.
The legend first arose in this area. It is said that there used to be a prosperous village on the mountain. In that village, there was a loving couple who were completely devoted to one another. One day, a terrifying monster appeared.
Ja, rede weiter.
The wife was out collecting herbs and was captured by the monster. Her husband was so distraught at the news that it broke his spirit and drove him to madness. The vile and vicious monster told the villagers, "If you want to live, you must sacrifice a child to me."
What a nasty piece of work. Paimon sure hopes this monster gets put in its place.
But the monster was so terrible and so strong that all within the village were terrified of it. They had no choice but to give in to the monster's demand. Just while they were discussing whose child would be given over to the monster, a little girl suddenly stood up and came forward.
No, don't do it, little girl.
Unbeknownst to anybody else, she was concealing an exorcist's blade. She approached the monster's lair, feigning fear and trepidation. When she finally arrived, she courageously drew her sword and entered into a fierce struggle with the monster, from which she eventually emerged as the victor. Her extraordinary abilities drew the attention of the Adepti, and they took her as one of their own. Her story became the stuff of legends. But alas, the paths of mortals and Adepti seldom cross, and she would never again re-enter the mortal world. And so, destined to grace the mortal realm for but a brief moment, she vanished like a wisp of smoke into thin air.
Schaut so schön her.
That's how the opera ends.
Schweigt. Wir gucken mal nicht dahin, okay?
I really like this story,
Sie mag es.
but I personally think that perhaps the little girl was not as brave as the opera makes her out to be. I'm not sure she deserves all the praise she is given.
I've never considered that before. Opera is always an interpretation of the events it purports to portray. A certain degree of deviation from the truth is always inevitable. When my father wrote the script for this play, I suppose his intention was to inspire his audience with the character of the Divine Damsel.
I think it's a great story. The ideal story.
Well, it sure inspired Paimon. Let's go get ourselves some Star Splinter Iron.
Lass uns diesen Splitter finden. Wo müssen wir hin? Suche mit Hilfe des göttlichen Auges. Welches göttliche Auge, bitte? Ich glaube, mich noch zu erinnern, dass die hier oben waren, oder nicht? Irgendwie kommt es dunkel hochgekrochen. Ja. Ah, Da, guck mal. Wir brauchen nicht mehr das göttliche Auge. Uhu. Das ging ja flott. Frage die Senioren im Dorf nach dem Geheimessenzerz.
Master Zhong said we should ask the locals for help. Why don't we try there?
Achso. Dann gehen wir da mal gucken, ne? Hallo, hallo, wie komme ich an das Erz? Rede mal bitte mit mir.
Hey, there really is someone here.
Hello, my friend.
Yunjin, looks like
Er
you were
schläft.
right. Excuse us, sir.
Im Stehen.
Can we ask you something?
Oh, toll, jetzt haben wir den geweckt. Mann.
He didn't seem to catch that.
Hello, sir. We were just passing by and wanted to ask if you happen to know anything about Subrosium.
Is he trying to tell us to look for clues in the village? Well, whatever.
Ja,
Guess we're on our own
lass uns gucken gehen.
Yunjin, let's have a look around.
Sorry, you can go ahead without me. I'd like to have a word with this gentleman.
Ja,
If
wie
that's
wollt ihr euch
okay
denn
with you,
unterhalten?
Uncle Yunjin.
It's
What?
Shenhe.
Shin, you're alive. The rumors were true. So, all these years? I'm sorry, I don't know how to find Subrosium. But I think you can find some information in the village.
Okay.
This place is deserted now. No one ever comes here.
Aha,
So
wir
you
können
can rummage
herumstöbern,
around all you want.
Leute. Lasst uns zuerst noch ein bisschen Money suchen, ja?
Thank you, kind sir. We'll go and take a look
Ja, ja.
around.
Wir
Don't
gehen mal
worry.
ein bisschen
Yunjin
graben.
has no ill intention towards Miss Shenhe. She'll be quite safe.
Okay, then let's see what we can find in this village.
Let's go! Let's go! Money, money, money. Money? Hallo? Money? Money? Money?
What's this?
Oh, wow. Holt euch einen Tee. Der Arzt hat gesagt, du seist schwer krank. Mach dir keine Sorgen, ich werde alles geben, was ich habe, um dich zu retten. Mein Herz tut weh, wenn ich sehe, wie du immer erschöpfter wirst und deine Krankheit nicht mehr zu behandeln ist. Wie sehr wünschte ich könnte den Schmerz für dich ertragen. Du hast gesagt, dass du in diesem Leben nichts bereust und dass du dir nur wünschst, dass ich mich gut um Shenhe kümmere. Aber wenn du nichts bereust, warum die Tränen? Naja, weil sie euch alleine lässt wahrscheinlich, ne? Oder alleine lassen muss, weil sie kann ja nichts dagegen tun. Ich weiß nicht, was ich in letzter Zeit getan habe. Obwohl ich noch atme, fühle ich mich komplett ausgelaugt. Ich habe alle alten Texte gelesen, die ich in die Finger bekommen konnte, um nach Wegen zu suchen, dich zu retten. Aber es ist völlig sinnlos. Endlich habe ich es gefunden. Es war Mingyun. Er hatte das Buch, das dich retten konnte, versteckt gehalten. Ich nahm es und folgte den Anweisungen, um einen Gott zu beschwören und ein Opfer darzubringen. Der Gott erschien. Ich sagte ihm, dass ich bereit sei, mein Leben gegen deines zu tauschen. Er schwieg und zeigte nur auf unsere Tochter Shenhe. Der Gott sagte, ihr Schicksal sei es, den Fluch des Unheils zu tragen und dass sie dazu neige, denen, die ihr nahestehen, Schaden zuzufügen. Der Gott sagte auch, dass sie vielleicht sogar die Ursache für deinen Tod war. Da es nun einmal so war, dachte ich sollte. Ich habe sie in der Höhle zurückgelassen, die der Gott erwähnt hatte. 3 Tage sind vergangen und immer noch keine Nachricht. Das Warten macht mich unruhig. Ein unheilvolles Gefühl befällt mich. Es tut mir leid, meine Liebe. Verzeih mir. Du auch, Shenhe. Bitte verzeih mir, wie dumm ich war, wie blind. Ich möchte mich bei euch beiden entschuldigen, persönlich. Das ist die wahre göttliche Jungfrau der Verwüstung, vermute ich.
So, Shenhe is the divine damsel? Now that I think about it, she does behave rather like an adeptus, and she is about the right age. So that's why I've been getting the strangest feeling whenever I chat with her. I should have noticed it earlier. According to this text, the divine damsel from the opera was actually the daughter of the loving couple. And she didn't volunteer. She was sacrificed to the monster by her own father. Oh, the truth is even more lamentable than the opera. Now I understand why Shenhe said the girl was not as brave as people think. It wasn't her choice to enter that ghastly situation. She was forced into it. Oh, it looks like my father may need to make a few revisions to his beloved opera.
Hat keiner gesehen. Suche im Dorf nach den hinterlassenen Spuren. Da leuchtet noch etwas. Früher lebte im Osten des Dorfes
So it
eine...
seems that Shenhe's father
Ey!
thought he was summoning a benevolent deity using a magic
Okay, ich
incantation.
lese es gleich.
But in fact, he summoned an evil god's remains, which took the form of a monster. His obsessive yearning for his
Ich glaube,
deceased
das
wife
soll
led
so
to a
nicht
terrible
sein.
tragedy. The villagers moved away
Aber ich habe
in
Angst, wenn ich
fear,
jetzt rausgehe, dass ich den
without ever
Text nicht
learning
wieder
the
lesen
truth.
kann.
And now, this place is deserted. Still, I do wonder what the connection
Ich
is
glaube, das soll
between
wirklich
Shenhe
nicht so
and
sein.
Moonjin.
Ich habe es diesmal nicht kaputt gemacht. Nein! What?
Everywhere, but
Ey,
still
das
no
ist
mention of
fies.
symposium.
Okay, Leute, ich konnte leider nichts dagegen machen. Aber gut, ihr könnt es euch ja durchlesen, ne? Ist ja nicht so, als ob man nicht auf Pause klicken könnte.
This is it.
Darf ich jetzt, ja?
So basically, we need to go to the middle
Was
of
ist
the
denn
lake
das?
south of Mount Tiana
Ey.
on the dusk, and we'll find us some symposium. Let's go back and tell Shenhe the news.
Drückt wieder auf Pause, Leute. Ja, das war sehr mysteriös. Vielen Dank dafür, Genshin. Lag es vielleicht daran, dass ich das Gespräch auf automatisch hatte? Aber eigentlich ist es ja seltsam, dass es angefangen hat, während ich noch eigentlich in der Notiz gewesen bin. Naja, egal. Ich kann es nicht
One
ändern.
year when I was back visiting, I heard a story about a white-haired adeptus from a merchant passing by. I never imagined it was you. I was a very close friend of your father's. I could have stopped him from performing the summoning ritual. I had plenty of chances, but I couldn't bring myself to stand up to him. I just let things happen, let it all escalate. And, well, we all know how that story ended. I bring flowers back here every year. And each time I wish I had a chance to apologize to you.
Apologize for what? If you'd stopped him, he'd only have found another way. There is nothing he wouldn't have done for his true love. Nothing.
Do you still hate him?
I don't know what I feel. I'm told my fate is to bear the curse of calamity.
Naja, ich wollte gerade sagen,
so
sie
my
hat die
master
Seile.
bound
Sie
my
spürt,
soul
glaube ich,
with red
gerade
ropes
nichts.
to curb my aggression.
Ja,
But
genau,
it
sagt sie
also
auch gerade.
dampened my emotions, making me dispassionate, like the Adepti. So if you ask me how I feel about the past, if I hate my father or not, the truth is, I feel nothing at all.
It must have been so tough for you all these years.
Shenhe, we're back.
Oh, then I will leave you all in peace. Shenhe, it brings me some solace knowing that you are okay. I'll tell you more about the old times next time we meet.
Thanks, mister. We found some info in the end. Shenhe, look. This tells us how to find Symposium. All we gotta do is go to the middle of that lake.
Let's go then.
Let's go! Und ich glaube wirklich, ich muss ich muss 3
Miss
Parts
Shenhe,
daraus machen.
There's something I'd
Das sind
like
schon
to
wieder
talk to you about.
35 Minuten. Warum
Just
geht die denn
now,
so lange, die
in the
Quest?
village, we found your father's diary. It turns out that many of the details in the Divine Damsel of Devastation are not true to the facts. So I'd like to change them.
Why?
I know I say that opera always deviates from the truth, but now that the main character is standing right here in front of me, I cannot simply dismiss your lived experience in favor of my father's fiction.
It's okay. I like your version.
Huh?
My master once said that the day I learn how to use my strength for the good of others is the day that I can truly become part of human society. So, I hope that one day I might be brave enough to stand up and protect others, just like the girl in the opera. But I've never thought this way before, and I wonder whether I will continue to think in this way.
Don't worry. I believe you will. In fact, I think maybe you've already started to become the person you aspire to be. You just haven't had the opportunity to see it for yourself yet.
Shenhe, Yunjin, cut the chit-chat. Let's go.
Let's go! Wir holen jetzt noch...
We can't let someone else beat us to it.
Ja. Wir holen uns noch den Splitter. Und ich glaube, dann mache ich tatsächlich doch noch mal einen Cut. Mann. Das geht ja wirklich sehr lange hier. Denn ich will ja noch ziehen, Leute. Ich will ziehen. Ziehen. Wow. Ich sehe da hinten was ihr nicht seht. Na. Was? Warte bis zum Sonnenuntergang. Okay. Habe ich getätigt. Ich habe die Silhouette erkannt. Schnell hin. Schnell hin. Ihr habt es doch auch erkannt, ne? Wer das ist. My boy! Boy Nummer 3 oder so. Hi!
What brings you here? Have they found a solution to the
Das
danger
kann
in the
ich nicht
sea?
sagen. Gefahren des Meeres?
Ningguang didn't tell you.
Was denn?
Something has happened in Guyan Stone Forest.
Oh mein Gott!
According to the contract, as an Adeptus, I should not get involved for now.
Okay.
But these things can be unpredictable. I have a contingency plan of my own.
Schau ist also...
Only a single mountain lies between here and Liyue Harbor. If things get out of control, I will defend this place myself.
Ah, okay. Alles klar. Herr Kommissar. Okay, wir müssen nach der Essenz suchen. Ja. Ja, wie ist sie denn, ne? Achso, nee, das ist die nicht. Hä? Ich sehe nichts. Ja, Menü? Ja. Hä? Oh. Ich falle. Oh! Das hat mein... Oh, das hat Geodaddy zerschossen. So ein Käse. Was haben wir denn hier so? Damn. Müssen wir jetzt erstmal wieder hochkraspeln, ne? Ciao, weißt du, wo das... Ah, oh Mann. Meine Güte. Ich habe keine Energie. Mann.
That's everything we need. Let's head back and report in.
Okay, let's go. Gut, das gehen wir jetzt noch ab und dann muss ich leider wirklich nochmal... Oh. Was ist denn heute los, hä? Voll in die Ritze geflogen.
Oh, goodness.
So, are they okay?
This is some top quality ore you found.
Spitzenqualität, meiner Leben.
Guess now it's my time to shine.
Hey everyone, how's the A-Team doing?
Richtig gut. Wir wollten dich gerade kontaktieren per Brieftaube.
Suling's never seen a Wonder Core before, and says it'd take a lot of research for him to get up to speed.
Leave the Wonder Cores to me. I'll work on them while you go about your business.
Alles klar.
Don't worry. It won't take me too long.
Much obliged, Master Zhang. We should look into the Adepti sigils next, but where should we find items relating to the Adepti?
I'll sort that out.
Gut. Die Bühne gehört dir.
You got this then?
Yes. I have been training with the Adepti for years. I know a thing or two about making sigils. When we first met, I told you I came for the Jade Chamber, not the contest. In fact, I came specifically to deliver Adepti sigils. Master heard that Ningguang was planning to rebuild the Jade Chamber, so she sent me to deliver some Adepti sigils to her. Master also said she hoped that I can take this opportunity to rejoin human society. But now that I'm here, I wonder if I've been removed from the world for too long. There's so much basic knowledge that I lack. Maybe it won't work for me to stay here after all. But either way, I'm very glad to have met you, and I'll take care of those Adepti sigils.
Okay.
Without knowing the ins and outs of your situation, I can't say whether you should stay or not. But now that our paths have crossed, we'll always have a connection. So if you're ever feeling down, come find me on my ship. There'll be a drink waiting for you.
Thank you.
Spül deine Sorgen mit ein bisschen Alkohol
Master
weg.
Zhang, I'll need to use your facilities to make the sigils.
Fine by me. I'm actually curious to see how the Adepti arts work. Maybe I'll learn something.
Shenhe und der alte Shang machen sich daran, die Wunderkerne und die Adeptentalismane anzufertigen.
Whew. The sigils are ready. Though they are in some respects inferior to my master's, I can assure you there will be no quality issues.
Supi.
I've finished forging the things you asked for,
Das
too.
ist so nice.
Let's go submit them before someone else gets there ahead of us.
Ja, aber das machen wir dann im nächsten Part. Denn das geht hier noch ein bisschen. Oh, ich bin gerade Abenteuerstufe 45 geworden. Wow! Wartet, dann gehe ich nochmal hier hoch. Und dann machen wir die Erfolge, die ich ergattert habe. 125, geilo. Und dann versuchen wir, Venti zu ziehen. Also, wer sich das jetzt nicht anschauen möchte, vielen Dank fürs Zusehen. Wir sehen uns dann im nächsten Part wieder. Und für die, die zuschauen möchten, ich wollte gerade sagen möchten, es geht los mit den Erfolgen. Und zwar, guckt euch das an. Überreste des Sturms. Erreiche die höchste Stelle des Turms von Dwalins Ruin. Ich bin wohin mal ein bisschen durch die Gegend gekrochen. Und hab das dann, ja, wie ihr sehen könnt, freigeschaltet. Hält auf Probe. Erfülle 30 Bitten der Bewohner. Das habe ich auch heute Morgen gemacht. Déjà-vu. Fahre deinen Wellenreiter eine gewisse Zeit lang kontinuierlich mit hoher Geschwindigkeit. Yes. Hallo? Ist jemand da? Entdecke einen versteckten Durchgang in Rito. Und ein Traum der alten Zeiten. Entdecke die Wahrheit der Geschichte des Dorfes. Ich weiß gar nicht mehr, was das war. Oder war das... Ach nee, das war, glaube ich, das gerade, ne? So. Welt in der Welt. Ja. Volle Kanne. Erhalte 10.000 Kannentaler. Woo! Welt in der Welt, Reihe 3. Erntezeit. Sammle bei ein Pfad der Werte, gepflegtes Feld, 40 Pflanzen ein. Woo! Was das? Ich glaube schon. Okay. Dann gucken wir mal, wie viele Urgesteine wir noch machen. Oh, nicht Urgesteine, ich meine Kugeln. So, wir fangen mit diesem Banner an. Wir fangen wieder mit der leichten Kost an. Und dann geht's auf zu Venti. Ah, sieht schon sehr gut aus. Ja, fängt fantastisch an. Ja. Oh mein Gott. Ich glaube, ich kann da noch 1 oder 2 Kugeln aus dem Händlershop kaufen. Gucken wir mal. Aber vielleicht haben wir ja Glück. Das Wort Anni und Glück in einem Satz. Ja, das war meine Hexenlache. Komm schon. Er ist nicht mehr lange da. Nur noch 3 Tage. Mann. Come on, Venti. Ich kann gar nicht hinsehen. Venti! Aber es kommt auch kein Lila mal, ne? Venti! Okay. Wetten wir, es ist eine Waffe? Wetten wir, es ist eine Waffe? Okay. Glück gehabt, Chongyun. Aber ich habe, glaube ich, habe ich Dori schon bekommen? Ich weiß das gerade gar nicht. Mann. Okay, wir gucken, was wir aus dem Shop noch ziehen können. Hier können wir noch einen ziehen. Okay. Oh nein, das war's dann auch mit denen. Alles klar. 2 Versuche. Ups, 2 Versuche noch, Leute. 2 Versuche. Manno! Ich hab aber auch so kein Glück, Mensch, sagte diejenige, die letztens in 110 Zügen 3 Fünfer gezogen hatte. Aber ich habe mit diesem Account absolut kein Glück. Ich habe kaum Charaktere, weil ich immer Waffen ziehe. Und die Charaktere, die ich unbedingt haben möchte, die gibt es auch nicht. Aber gut, ich meine, ich habe wenigstens Mr. Zhongli bekommen. Sexy Boy. Ja, dann war's das erstmal. Ich danke fürs Zusehen und wir sehen uns dann im nächsten Part wieder von Genshin Impact. Und bis dahin, bye bye!